What's up guys, Rogue9 here, and today we're back with some good old Rainbow Six Siege, and specifically, we will be exploring the various types of explosives in the game. How much damage do they do, what is their damage drop-off, and what about effective ranges? Let's find out. As usual, you will find a comment below with timestamps to the different parts of the video, and one more quick note I want to make here is that the damage drop-off stats presented in this video are averaged from several trials, since the drop-off for explosives is so steep that the 1 meter increments of the ping can lead to a significant variance in the results. And with that, let's kick things off with a quick recap of the damage stats of the impact grenades, which I discussed in detail in a previous video. Blast damage for the impact grenades ranges from a maximum of 57 points against light armor, 48 points against medium armor, down to 42 points against heavy armor. Hitting an enemy directly will add 5 additional damage points to these numbers against all 3 operator types. This, by the way, goes for any of the types of thrown explosives. The damage drop-off for the impact grenades starts after 1 meter and is very steep. By 2 meters distance, they will do hardly any damage at all. So really, at the end of the day, impact grenades are more useful as breaching devices and to finish off downed opponents rather than as an offensive weapon. Let's move on to the regular hand grenades now, which are significantly more powerful, and with max blast damage stats of 142, 120 and 105 against the 3 types of operators, they are capable of killing or at least downing any person, enemy, friendly or neutral, in a single explosion. The timer of these grenades is around 4 seconds, although they can be cooked by releasing the lever but not immediately throwing the grenade, so even though throwing back an enemy grenade is possible, it can be highly risky since you have no way of knowing how much time you have left until detonation. Damage drop-off starts at 3 meters measured from a standing position, and by 6 meters distance, your opponent will not take any damage at all. And finally, as you will know, the hand grenades throw out a number of pieces of shrapnel, as can be seen on the wall here. None of my test subjects took any additional damage during any of the trials, so I cannot confirm if the shrapnel actually does cause any additional injuries, although it may be possible. If anyone has any conclusive evidence on this, please feel free to leave a comment below. Another explosive gadget with exactly the same damage profile as the hand grenade is the Claymore Mine. The max damage stats I measured for it were exactly the same as the hand grenades for all 3 armor types, and drop-off also begins at 3 meters distance. Any damage beyond that is also the same, but since the laser proximity sensors on the mine have a range of 3 meters, the only way you can take partial damage from a mine blast is if you're within the effective range and someone else triggers it, or if you sprint through fast enough. One last interesting fact about the Claymores is that, similar to real life, their blast is directional. Anyone standing on the backside of a detonating mine will take no damage at all, even when immediately next to it, and you can also see this from the semicircular blast damage on the floor. The next type of explosives, the Nitro Cells, are even more powerful, with max damage stats of 171, 144 and 126. Again, the damage drop-off starts from around 3 meters, and by 6 meters operators will no longer take any damage. At 5 meters, the explosives can do enough damage to kill any of the 3 operator types, but at this range, level 3 armor operators may already be able to survive the blast. Once again, as with the grenades and the claymores, there is another type of explosive that has the exact same damage profile as the Nitro Cells. Can you guess which one it is? Kapkan's entry denial devices maybe? Close, but not quite. No, against all odds, I actually managed to reliably test Fuse's murder pucks, which are apparently also known as APM-6 matryoshkas or cluster charges. Something which I never realized before conducting my tests is that these pucks are always thrown in exactly the same pattern, and this greatly helped me to expose my test subjects to a single one of the explosions. And yep, the damage dealt by each one of the 4 explosive discs is the same as that of a Nitro Cell, between 126 and 171 points of damage depending on the armor type. And considering that the way in which the 4 pucks are spread throughout a room means that their areas of effect can frequently overlap, it's easy to understand why the cluster charge has become so deadly since its buff several months ago. And last but not least, having previously mentioned Kapkan's homemade IEDs, I guess I should also briefly talk about them. Fact is though that I cannot actually tell you how much damage they do, since even while hosting a custom game with double health and choosing a level 3 operator, I was not able to survive a blast by one of the EDDs. It is possible to survive an EDD explosion if you're playing as a shield operator and face towards the device, and I've also seen examples of people surviving the EDD by sprinting through an open doorway and managing to get just far enough away to not be killed. But other than that, the summary for Kapkan traps is that if you trigger one, you're pretty much done, at least for the rest of that round. And that's it, short, sweet and simple. I hope that some of that info is useful to you, and if you have any ideas of what you would like me to test next in the game, feel free to post your suggestions below. And if you're ever looking for a few friendly faces to have a game with, feel free to join the official Rogue 9 Discord server. There's always a few people around willing to join a Rainbow Six or Battlefield 1 game. And with that, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thank you.